What am I doing? Wallpapering the spare bedroom. What the bloody hell am I doing?
Welcome to WatchMojo UK, and today we're counting down our picks for the best scenes and moments from Britain's favourite professional complainer Victor Meldrew and One Foot in the Grave.
Oh, for God's sake, absolute tribute, do talk.
For this list, there'll be a few spoilers from the 1990s sitcom. If you've seen it before, then we hope your memory is jogged, but if you haven't, then, well...
Oh, I don't believe it!
Before we begin, we publish new content every day, so be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos.
Number 10. The Sign. Warm champagne. As Victor says, welcome back to suburbia. Of course, the constant complainer is being sarcastic, immediately shaking off the tranquility that his holiday was supposedly meant to provide him. Upon return, he gets into a vocal altercation with one of his neighbour's children, which might be par for the course as the revenge they have on Victor.
Why don't you sort of down a sewer?
Tell me to sort of down a sewer, you cocky little tyke.
It isn't long before a post is erected in his garden, deeming his abode as a pub with a slightly off-traditional but apt name. Many remember this episode for the streetlight, which, following an unfortunate accident, makes a new home in the Meldrew's bedroom. But for us, this short scene of Richard Wilson's face, both on the portrait and his character's reaction, bumps it. Number 9. A very close shave. I'll retire to Bedlam. The fourth episode showed that constant stress can cause injury in more ways than one. Visiting the doctors for the second time, Victor thought he was having his appendix out. It looks like the nurse shaving him is part of the prep, and all seems good, until Mr. Brocklebank slowly lets slip that he might not be the most stable person to hold a razor.
Men on the moon, eh? Yes. I was up there myself last week.
Oh, his hands are steady, but clues that things are amiss begin when the nurse starts describing the rising prices of building his new house on the moon.
Mr. Meldrew?
Yes?
Don't make any sudden moves.
The episode's high point perhaps isn't the peril, nor Victor's almost impartiality rule-breaking rant regarding newfound support of the monster raving loony party, but Annette Crosby's fantastic delivery of Margaret's tension-breaking one-liner.
That was a close shave, wasn't it?
Number 8. The Mechanic's Song, The Beast in the Cage. The Beast in the Cage is the apt title for this bottle episode, all set within the car during a traffic jam. The frustrations of the setting should give Victor a pass, as should his growing need for the ever-distant toilet. But demanding Mrs. Warboys and Margaret to stop passing the time gossiping renders that void, especially as the ensuing silence he created conversely irritates him even more.
I suppose we've all got to sit in silence here like a mausoleum now, have we?
Thinking music will ease the tension, the cassette he plays is a karmic wind-up, pun intended.
There's a bloke we can't stand any longer, always on the bleeding moan.
Performed to the melody of Hymn Bread of Heaven, the Honda song, as it's now known, is a delightfully wicked present from Meldrew's disgruntled mechanics, played by the theme's composer Eric Idle and frequent Python collaborator John Duprez. Number 7. Toilet Flush Face Wash. Hole in the Sky. As a kid, it was no doubt drilled into you to avoid touching all bathroom cleaning products. But for those who didn't listen, One Foot in the Grave told that cautionary tale too, in a funnier way. Hole in the Sky begins late, in the Meldrew's bedroom. Having slept in, Margaret quickly runs to the ensuite, rousing Victor with more bad news.
What is it?
Apparently he has woken up in the middle of the night, opened a new little packet of soap and washed his face with it, except it was actually toilet flush, and he stained the pillow, towels, duvet and his face blue.
Oh! Get up! Look what you've done!
It's a great opener to the episode, which also gave us another classic moment, the female version of Victor Meldrew.
Yes, you! You boner who lay about 4 weeks ago! ago you were supposed to come and finish off my fence, and I am still...
Number 6. Secondhand Shoes, Dreamland.
They've lost the left shoe. Lost it. And you know what he did there? He said he'd only charge me half price.
Before eBay, and certainly before Vinted, people posted classifieds in shops to sell second-hand items. These were great to avoid trawling through charity shops, going directly to those supplying our demands. Victor, for a plethora of usual reasons...
Yes? Ah, hello. I believe you've got a pair of black shoes for sale.
Can't find his desired clothing in a conventional way, so he visits a widow who's just announced she's selling her recently deceased husband's shoes. What she didn't mention in her classified is how recently deceased he is, nor that the shoes are still on her very dead husband's feet, who, despite being very dead, is still sitting in the living room.
I'm sure that's what he'd have wanted.
Another wonderfully macabre moment, but the rest of Dreamland is worth rewatching too, showing just how much Victor needs Margaret when she spontaneously disappears. Number 5. Skipping the parking, the worst horror of all. Admit it, the neighbour's skip often becomes the community bin. So long as we're not taking the proverbial, that's generally acceptable. Unless that neighbour is, of course, Victor Meldrew. Despite starting the episode uncharacteristically placid, it quickly emerges that even the strongest painkillers don't last long. He goes right back to his own skip, covering it to prevent the inevitable battered mattress being dumped within.
Busted mattress someone always dumps in your skip whenever you leave one outside your door.
Indeed, it proves futile, but in a twist only 1 foot in the grave could provide. As hilarious as it is to consider the practicalities of someone driving up and into a skip to dump a car, the irony of that mattress's inevitability is the icing on the cake. Number 4. Road Rage Revenge, The Broken Reflection. For a few moments of Series 3's third episode, viewers would have been a little perplexed. Unlike his usual grumpy attitude, or borderline lack of patience, Victor's calm dealings with a computer salesman who's constantly leaving voice memos to increase the price of his expensive PC is rather restrained.
Right, how much was it again?
But then, as we should have known, it wouldn't last. In an absolute head-rolling twist, Victor didn't spend all that time bartering for a new computer, but simply to get the man back for a road rage incident the previous week.
The signature. It says, "You daft dawdling old arsehole."
No, I think that's what you called me last week, wasn't it?
He deliberately wasted the salesman's time and effort, and not in a send-up of the hard sell, but an even better quest for sweet revenge.
Get Samantha to organize a new brain for me as quickly as possible, where I can learn to drive and not be a complete bastard to everyone else on the roads.
Number 3. Nippy Indeed, 1996 Christmas special, Starbound. Poor Mrs. Warboys would often be the source of Victor's contempt, and of many, many laughs. An amazing moment of miscommunication, or rather, non-communication, from the late Doreen Mantle's character led to Victor finally relenting on homing Mr. Burkett's Cocker Spaniel, Nippy.
He's still trying to find a home for that Cocker Spaniel.
No thank you, Mrs. Warboys.
Despite reservations, and probably to occupy his mind in his forced retirement, Meldrew goes overboard in preparing for the dog, even building an elaborate and expensive kennel. But, as expected, things, well, aren't as expected. The animal he's spent all episode preparing a good life for is rather bereft of it.
There we are.
Nippy is about as stuffed as Meldrew's cupboards are with dog food.
You never know what's going to come next.
Number 2. That Phone Call, The Pit and the Pendulum. After it first aired, this moment was repeated over and over on British TV, and every time it is still funny. Series 4's opener gave us a simple and tiny moment of confusion from Victor Meldrew, who, true to form, is expecting a call. When the phone rings, he hilariously picks up a puppy instead of the telephone and initially answers it.
4291.
The following lines are drowned out by the audience's laughter, and it takes a moment for us to ask ourselves the same thing Meldrew is. Also, Richard Wilson's laboured delivery is one of a kind.
Well, who would have thought it?
Number 1. Toilet Planting. The Trial. By Series 4, One Foot in the Grave had aged, but as Episode 5, The Trial, proved, hadn't slowed. It was a slight form change, with Richard Wilson essentially monologuing as Victor Meldrew in a solo half-hour show. Of course, Meldrew's hypochondria and fastidiousness have time in the spotlight. However, arguably the series' funniest moment surprisingly comes only minutes in.
What in the name of bloody hell? I do not believe.
Having asked a delivery man to put his new yucca tree in the downstairs toilet, Victor soon realises his request was taken quite literally. Visually, not only is the planting perfect, but so too is the ensuing comedy, in Victor raging his complaint over the phone.
And you know what he's done? He's only planted it in the pan.
As usual, we don't really see the trigger. The comedy is centred solely on Meldrew's apoplectic reactions, which haven't, and seemingly never will, age.
Put it in the downstairs toilet.
Do you miss the apoplectic rage of Victor Meldrew, or were you glued to Who Wants to Be a Millionaire instead of his final episode? Tell us about it in the comments.
I don't believe it.
Do you agree with our picks? Check out this other recent clip from WatchMojo UK and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.